Once in a village, there lived a young boy named Naruto with his father. Their humble abode was graced by a tree, planted by Naruto's father, and tended to with daily care. Naruto, in his youthful curiosity, couldn't help but wonder about the purpose of this tree. So, one day, he turned to his father and inquired, "Why do we cultivate and nurture this tree?" His father, wise and nurturing, explained, "Trees, my child, are like nature's children. Just as we care for our own, we must also care for these young trees. By providing them with the right nourishment and attention, they grow strong and sturdy. In return, they offer us their comforting shade and sustenance as they flourish." The tree grew up big and strong, growing older and bigger. The tree felt great satisfaction in doing its daily duties. Every day, the tree spread its branches like its arms so that the tired birds could sit down and take some rest during their journey. It grew in abundance and shady leaves which gave relief to the animals and humans from the heat of the sun. It grew fruits too, which dropped down and fulfilled the hunger of beings. It also had beautiful flowers that calmed down the minds and hearts of those who watched them. Its roots ran deep and helped drain the water in the thirsty earth. It absorbed the carbon of the air and returned happy, fresh air back to the creation. The tree lived a content and fulfilling life. As time marched on, it seized every opportunity to contribute to the world around it. The tree had completely surrendered to the purpose of its existence, tirelessly providing assistance, selflessly giving, and steadfastly standing tall. It never harbored any expectations from the world, held no recollections of its countless deeds, and never entertained the thought that the world should owe it anything in return. The tree bore no ego, seeking no reciprocation from those it served. With this nature of giving, the tree grew older and came to be known as the giving tree. Meanwhile, Naruto grew up with a different thought process. He grew up as a seeker, totally opposite to the tree his father grew, which was a giver. Naruto was a selfish man, driven by greed. His desires were never-ending. Whenever his desires could not be fulfilled, Naruto grew angry and upset, picking up and throwing things around. And whenever his desires got fulfilled, he immediately had another set of desires, creating a typical cycle of desire. Because of Naruto's persistent anger and selfishness, he found himself isolated and abandoned by those he once held dear, his friends, his wife, his children, and eventually, his entire village. He became a solitary figure, without a home, overwhelmed by the belief that he had devoted his entire life to serving his family, friends, neighbors, and community, only to be deserted and neglected by them in his time of need. His days were now filled with self-pity, drowning in feelings of victimization and sorrow. He bitterly accused the world of exploiting him and loudly proclaimed that it had forsaken him. Naruto wandered through the village like a tormented soul, crying out in anguish, convinced that the world had discarded him after taking advantage of him. He sat down under the shade of the tree, which his father had planted. The tree, as usual, was singing in the joy of its daily service to the world, with birds on its branches eating its fruits and enjoying its shade. The tree had lost itself in the joy of serving the world. Suddenly, its meditation and duties were interrupted by Naruto sitting along its trunk and crying. "Naruto, what happened?" The giving tree asked when it saw him crying. "Can't you see it yourself?" Naruto replied. "This world used me. Everyone has used me. I just came to this world to be used." Toriduo, observing the entire spectacle from afar on his mountain perch, burst into hearty laughter, clutching his belly with amusement. He beckoned to Naruto, the anxious rabbit, urging him to witness the unfolding situation, directing their attention to the tree and Naruto. "Look at them, Naruto," Toriduo said. "That is the irony of life. One man has lost himself in the grief of existence just because he wants and wants. That man feels heavy, so he will suffer and will die craving. The other, which is the tree, has lost itself in the bliss and joy of giving and giving. That tree will blossom even more, it feels light. it will rise and rise to the highest heavens. Both were nurtured by the same individual, yet their journeys diverged significantly. Both found their purpose in the world. We are all here to contribute to the world in our unique ways, and it's a remarkable opportunity. With those words of wisdom, Torai Duo, the Zen master, headed back to his hut to make himself a soothing cup of tea. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.